So why did Pierre Poilievre lose the election last night? After all, under him, the Conservatives received a higher vote share than any party has received since 1988, 41.4%. That was enough to give Brian Mulroney a majority government, but Mulroney was fighting against a divided left. The most important factor in this election was Jagmeet Singh happily euthanizing the NDP, taking it down to just 6.3% and only 7 seats. Singh had thrown in the towel years ago. It was obvious, and he was a de facto Liberal. It'll be interesting to see what patronage he receives from Mark Carney as a thank you. The Green Party went even further, officially canceling nearly 100 of their own candidates explicitly so as not to split the left-wing vote. They wanted it all to go with the Liberals. Left-wing Canadians don't actually need the NDP or the Green Party anymore. Canadians are about to learn just how radical Mark Carney is on everything from net zero environmentalism to foreign policy. He didn't need to keep up the anti-Americanism in his speech last night when he won. I mean, the election was over. But Mark Carney chose to because he actually believes in realigning Canada with China.
As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen.
Just as he did when he chaired Brookfield Asset Management. I've called Carney Trudeau 2.0, but smarter and harder working. Now that's true, and Carney has most of the same team as Trudeau, including the disgraced Rasputin figure, Gerald Butts. But Carney and his extremist wife are deep ideological activists, whereas Trudeau was more of a cliche-spouting mascot. If it helps to understand Carney, know that the company he chaired, Brookfield Asset Management, has $1 trillion under management. It's like BlackRock and just as ideological and dictatorial. By the way, has any Canadian media outlet other than Rebel News reported that Mark Carney was interrogated last year by congressional staff accused of extorting coal companies? I believe Poilievre will actually win the next election. The Trump challenge will resolve itself one way or another. Carney's thin-skinned, domineering personality is already showing itself. He'll soon find out that running a caucus and running a confederation is a bit different than being a corporate oligarch where everyone says, yes, sir. I'll give Trudeau this. He could be charming, and his wife was embarrassing but harmless. Mark Carney doesn't have emotional intelligence, and his wife is like Lady Macbeth. More important than personality, all of the issues that caused people to hate Trudeau, housing costs, mass immigration, taxes, wokeism, all those issues are going to continue under Carney. And people will see that Carney's cabinet is largely the same as Trudeau's was. There has been no real change in the Liberals. Poilievre's achievements include realigning the Conservatives, making it the party of the working man, something that will accelerate as the public slowly realizes just who Carney is and who he listens to. Carney hasn't given up his belief in net zero deindustrialization or other World Economic Forum obsessions. You know, there's a reason the mainstream media don't want you learning about the World Economic Forum or what Carney did there as a board member. Imagine you're a 25-year-old who can't afford to buy a house and you're watching Carney's boomer dance last night and his wife's Elaine Bennis moves. The World Economic Forum is like the Bohemian Grove, but for Europeans and leftists, there's a different temperament amongst the little people. Expect Carney to keep his promise to lavish money on the CBC state broadcaster, partly as a reward for their service these past months and partly to start campaigning for the next election that could come within a year. Don't be surprised if, as a corollary, Carney reintroduces Trudeau's C-63 Online Harms Act censorship bill. You've already seen how they treat Rebel News. They want citizen journalists to know their place. Rebel News played a role in this election. As you know, We had 318 million views and impressions during the campaign. In the riding of York Centre, for example, we helped drive out the pro-Hamas MP, Yaara Sachs, a bright spot in a gloomy night. It's going to be an interesting year. There are a lot more stories to tell, and the regime media won't tell them, so we at Rebel News will. There's also more need than ever for Rebel style of activism, especially our civil liberties litigation. We have a track record of beating the Liberals in court, especially when it comes to their censorship and bullying. We're going to need to do a lot more of that, and frankly, I'm going to need your help to do it. I'll share more thoughts later, but the results last night were not as disappointing as I feared. Come on, don't mope. Pick yourself up and get going. Surely you can see how close we are now. For Rebel News, I'm Ezra Levant. Hey, to follow all of our reporting on Mark Carney, including our investigative journalism, go to thecarneyfiles.com.